the Liberal Party has effectively abandoned Canadian children. Okay? It all starts off with the Supreme Court ruling that came out where minimum mandatory sentencing for pedophiles who own pornographic material has been the minimum mandatory sentence has been deemed unconstitutional by Trudeau appointed judges.
Jesus,
So
fuck, eh?
this is the political party that is bragging about their school food program to like support hungry kids.
Yeah.
But this ruling came out and we heard nothing from the Liberal Party. We heard nothing from the Prime Minister. We heard nothing from Sean Fraser, the Minister of Justice. We heard nothing from Anna Sangri, the Minister of Public Safety. These guys are silent on the matter of essentially like child sex abuse, sexual abuse.
It says
right?
a lot, eh?
Yeah, it says a lot.
It says
that Trudeau appointed judges made this ruling, and now the party has nothing to say. The Conservatives stood. Pierre Poilievre made a statement.
Yeah.
Michelle Ferreri. A lot of the Conservatives were outraged by this.
And it's important to note, by the way, so that viewers understand, this is not a mandatory. So a mandatory minimum sentence is that if you're found guilty of said crime, the judge has no choice but to hand you the minimum, right? He cannot like look at any other factors to give you a different sentence. But keep in mind, this is not like if you're caught with pedophilic material, you are being sentenced to 25 to life. No, this was a mandatory minimum sentence of 1 year.
1 year.
1 year. And to put this into perspective, I'm a legal gun owner. In Canada, every single gun crime carries a mandatory minimum sentence of 3 years. And you may be like, well, that's good if you shoot up someone. No, I'm not talking about shooting up someone. I'm talking about paper crimes. For example, if I go to the gun range and forget my wallet with my gun license inside of it and I'm caught by a police officer, that's 3 years of jail. If I go to the gun range and I forget a piece of paper called an authorization to transport my firearms to the gun range, that's 3 years of jail. If I load one too many bullets in the magazines of my guns and I'm caught with that, that's 3 years of jail. It's all non-violent paper crimes. That's 3 years of jail. Nobody talks, nobody bats an eye. But you're caught with something like 600 and something images of girls under 6 years old doing some horrendous things, and 1 year is too long.
Yeah, it doesn't stop there. There was a case where a man abducted a 9-year-old boy, and now his lawyer is fighting to get a lighter sentence so that he can stay in Canada for abducting a child.
I'm gonna fucking go nuts.
Yeah, and the Liberal Party has effectively, with our politicians in power not taking a firm stance against this, they have effectively, in my opinion, abandoned the children of Canada. And it doesn't end there. It really doesn't end there. I wish it did, but it doesn't, because the food bank lineups recently had about 712,000 kids, Canadian children, lining up at food banks. Youth unemployment is at an all-time high because of the temporary foreign worker program.
Yeah.
And the Liberals are silent on all of this. They're silent about child sexual assault. They're silent about children getting abducted because it's okay to ask for a lighter sentence for abducting a child just so you can stay in Canada. It's an immigrant who committed this crime. Okay,
it should be an instant deport.
The Minister of Justice is silent. The Minister of Safety is safety, right? The Minister of Safety,
Public Safety.
Public Safety is silent. The Prime Minister is silent. Like, I think that says everything that needs to be said on the matter. These people do not care about your children. They care about their power. They care about their authoritarian control over the internet. You made a video about none of the legislation that the Liberals have pushed was to help Canadians with the affordability crisis, to help shrink the size of government so that more money is in Canadians' pockets. You talked about this, that all the legislation they've pushed is for more authoritarian control.
Always.
Over digital.
For sure.
Digital authoritarian control. And so their priorities are not with your kids, and they have failed your children